It's hard to imagine how life could change so drastically, but the world of fame is as unpredictable as it is dazzling. One moment, you're on top of the world, adored by millions, and the next, you could find yourself on the streets, unrecognizable and forgotten. Today, we're diving into the shocking stories of celebrities who went from red carpets to roughing them, living homeless and far removed from their once glamorous lives. These are tales of fortune lost, decisions regretted, and lives turned upside down, proving that fame can be as fleeting as it is intoxicating. Margot Kidder. Her journey from stardom to homelessness is a tale marked by triumphs and tribulations. Best known for her role as Lois Lane in the Superman film series, Kidder's performance won her critical acclaim and a dedicated fan base. However, behind the scenes, Kidder struggled with severe mental health issues that eventually led to a period of homelessness. In the mid-1990s, Kidder's life took a dramatic turn. She was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, a condition that brought with it significant challenges. In 1996, Kidder experienced a particularly severe manic episode that caused her to go missing for several days. She was found in a disoriented state, hiding in the bushes of a stranger's yard in Glendale, California. She was unkempt, paranoid, and believed she was being pursued by unseen assailants. This incident brought her mental health struggles into the public eye, garnering significant media attention. Following her rescue, Kidder was hospitalized and received treatment for her condition. Despite the public scrutiny, she became an outspoken mental health advocate. She used her platform to teach others about the realities of living with bipolar disorder. Kidder's challenges did not end there. Her career, which had once been on a soaring trajectory, faced setbacks as she grappled with her health issues. Financial difficulties compounded her struggles, leading to periods where she lacked stable housing. Despite these obstacles, Kidder remained resilient, continuing to work in film and television and advocating for mental health. Richard Gere. As an actor whose name is synonymous with Hollywood charm, Richard Gere reached the pinnacle of stardom with iconic roles in Pretty Woman and An Officer and a Gentleman. Gere's striking good looks and compelling performances captivated audiences. They also secured his place among the elite of the film industry. However, in 2014, Gere took an extraordinary step. It brought him closer to the plight of the homeless. Few would have expected this from a star of his caliber. In a bold move to raise awareness about homelessness, Gere disguised himself as a homeless man on the streets of New York City. The transformation was so convincing that he became unrecognizable to passers-by. Dressed in ragged clothes and sporting a scruffy beard, Gere wandered the streets for hours, experiencing firsthand the harsh realities faced by the homeless. Gere's day on the streets was an eye-opener. He noted the indifference of people and the profound isolation that comes with homelessness. Despite his fame, no one recognized him or offered help. This underscored the invisibility and neglect that homeless people often endure. His experience was later widely shared. It highlighted the critical need for empathy and support for the homeless. This act of empathy was not just a one-off event for Gere. He has been a longtime advocate for various humanitarian causes, using his platform to bring attention to social issues. His brief stint as a homeless man was part of a broader effort to draw attention to the struggles faced by those without shelter. Gere supports organizations like the Coalition for the Homeless. He also joins in fundraising to aid and give resources to those in need. Unlike many on this list, Gere's encounter with homelessness was not due to personal misfortune. It was a deliberate attempt to understand and empathize with those less fortunate. This experience profoundly impacted him and reaffirmed his commitment to humanitarian work. Randy Quaid. His transition from Hollywood fame to homelessness is a bizarre and troubling tale. Known for his roles in Independence Day and the National Lampoon's Vacation series, Quaid enjoyed significant success in the film industry. However, his life took a strange and unfortunate turn in the late 2000s. Quaid and his wife Evie became entangled in a series of legal issues, including charges of burglary and defrauding an innkeeper. Their growing erratic behavior and paranoia led them to claim that they were targeted by Hollywood star whackers. They thought the Star Whackers were a group of assassins aiming to kill them. This paranoia drove them to flee to Canada in 2010, where they sought asylum. Their request for asylum was denied, and they lived in a state of flux, moving from place to place and often staying in hotels or with friends. The Quaids had legal troubles. They made outlandish claims. These problems cut them off from Hollywood and strained their finances. This pushed them into a life on the run and without a stable home. Randy Quaid became homeless due to legal battles, mental health issues, and a sense of persecution. His belief in a grand conspiracy against him and his wife alienated them from their support networks. Natasha Lyonne, celebrated for her roles in American Pie and Orange is the New Black, Natasha Lyonne faced significant personal struggles that led to periods of homelessness. Lyonne's early career was marked by success and promise, but her life took a tumultuous turn in the early 2000s. Lyonne struggled with heroin addiction. She also faced serious health issues like a collapsed lung and hepatitis C. These problems derailed her career. In 2005, she was evicted from her apartment in New York City due to erratic behavior and unpaid rent. This eviction marked the beginning of a particularly dark period in her life, during which she was effectively homeless. During this time, Lyonne cycled in and out of rehab and faced numerous legal issues, including a DUI arrest. She was often without stable housing, relying on friends for a place to stay or finding temporary shelter wherever she could. Her health continued to decline, leading to multiple hospitalizations. Lyonne's journey to recovery was long and arduous. With the support of friends and a strong determination to get clean, she eventually turned her life around. Her comeback role in Orange is the New Black in 2013 marked a significant turning point, showcasing her talent and resilience. Butler. Her journey from sitcom stardom to financial hardship is a poignant story. It shows resilience in the face of adversity. She rose to fame with her role in Grace Under Fire. She portrayed the life of a single mother. Butler captivated audiences with her performance, earning both critical praise and widespread affection. Yet, behind the scenes, she grappled with personal battles. These included addiction and mental health issues. They led to the premature end of the show. Butler faced challenges, but her talent shone through. She continued to impress in various roles, showing her versatility and commitment. However, in recent years, she faced financial turmoil. She was evicted for not paying rent. This was a stark contrast to her previous success. Financial mismanagement and the pandemic hurt her income. They made her situation worse. They led to public attention and the start of a GoFundMe campaign to help her. Now 66, Butler reflects on her journey with both regret and gratitude. She continues to pursue acting, her enduring passion. She also serves as an inspiration for many who admire her resilience in hardship. Bonaduce. His life after The Partridge Family is a tale of tumult and tenacity. Rising to fame as a child star, Bonaduce was part of one of the most beloved television families of the 1970s. However, the end of the show marked the beginning of a challenging period in his life, characterized by addiction and periods of homelessness. After the show ended in 1974, Bonaduce struggled to transition to adult roles in Hollywood. The lack of work and the pressures of his early fame led him down a path of substance abuse. By the late 1980s, Bonaduce was living out of his car, estranged from his family and without a stable home. His battle with addiction and subsequent arrests made headlines, painting a picture of a fallen star struggling to find his way. Despite these challenges, Bonaduce's story is also one of resilience. He sought help through rehab programs. With the support of friends and family, he managed to beat his addiction. Bonaduce reinvented himself through a successful career in radio and reality television. In addition to his career in radio, Bonaduce found success on reality television, his own show Breaking Bonaduce, which aired from 2005 to 2006. The show documented his turbulent life, providing an unfiltered look at his struggles with addiction, his efforts to maintain sobriety, and his complex relationships. Gary Busey. Known for his roles in the Buddy Holly Story and Lethal Weapon, Busey enjoyed significant success in Hollywood. However, a near-fatal motorcycle accident in 1988 changed the course of his life dramatically. The accident left Busey with severe brain damage. This, combined with his struggles with substance abuse, led to erratic behavior and money problems. Busey suffered a fractured skull and permanent brain damage, which significantly altered his personality and cognitive functions. His previously vibrant career began to falter as his behavior became increasingly unpredictable and his financial woes escalated. By the early 2000s, Busey faced bankruptcy and was living out of his car at times. His unpredictability and financial instability made it hard for him to find steady work, pushing him further into the fringes of Hollywood. In 2001, he filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, listing over $500,000 in personal debts. His assets, once plentiful, dwindled as he struggled to maintain the lavish lifestyle he had once enjoyed. He sought treatment for his addiction and managed to make a partial comeback in reality television and supporting film roles. Busey's appearance on Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew in 2008 marked a turning point as he publicly confronted his addiction issues. He continued his television presence with appearances on shows like Celebrity Apprentice, where he showcased his unique personality and resilience. Bobby Driscoll. His story is one of the most tragic among former child stars. A Disney icon in the 1940s and 1950s, Driscoll was known for his roles in Song of the South and as the voice of Peter Pan. However, his life took a devastating turn as he grew older. After his tenure with Disney ended, Driscoll struggled to find work and turned to drugs. Despite being one of the most recognizable child actors of his time, he found it difficult to transition into adult roles. The stark reality of being typecast and the changing landscape of Hollywood left him with few opportunities. In his desperate attempt to cope with the declining career, Driscoll began using heroin, which quickly spiraled into a severe addiction. His heroin addiction led to numerous arrests and a prison sentence. In 1956, he was arrested for drug possession, which marked the beginning of his legal troubles. Over the next few years, he was in and out of jail for various offenses related to his addiction. These legal issues further damaged his reputation in Hollywood, making it nearly impossible for him to find work. By the 1960s, Driscoll was destitute and estranged from his family. His parents, unable to cope with his behavior and addiction, distanced themselves from him. He moved to New York City in hopes of finding solace in the art scene, where he mingled with artists like Andy Warhol. However, his addiction continued to plague him, and he found it challenging to maintain any semblance of stability. In 1968, Driscoll's body was discovered in an abandoned building in New York City. The building, located in the East Village, was a known hangout for homeless individuals and drug users. Driscoll, penniless and alone, died from heart failure caused by his drug abuse. Tragically, his body was unclaimed, and he was buried in an unmarked grave on Hart Island, New York City's Potter's Field. His identity remained unknown for nearly 2 years until a fingerprint match with his arrest records revealed who he was. The once celebrated child star had died in obscurity, a victim of the very industry that had once embraced him. Nick Stahl. Known for his roles in Terminator 3 and Carnivale, Nick Stahl experienced a significant fall from grace due to his struggles with addiction. Stahl's career, which had shown much promise, began to unravel in the early 2010s. Stahl went missing multiple times, prompting his wife to report him as missing to the police. In May 2012, Stahl was reported missing and found weeks later in Los Angeles' Skid Row, a neighborhood notorious for its high homeless population and rampant drug use. His struggle with severe substance abuse had led him to live on the streets, far removed from the Hollywood spotlight. Stahl's addiction to methamphetamine and other drugs exacerbated his problems. His erratic behavior and disappearing acts strained his relationships with his family and alienated him from the film industry. Despite entering rehab facilities multiple times, Stahl faced repeated relapses, each time falling back into the cycle of addiction and homelessness. In June 2012, just a month after his first disappearance, Stahl checked into rehab again, only to go missing shortly after. His struggles continued to make headlines, drawing public attention to his plight and the broader issue of addiction in the entertainment industry. Friends and colleagues expressed their concerns, but Stahl's path to recovery remained fraught with difficulties. Tom Sizemore. He is known for his intense performances in films like Saving Private Ryan and Black Hawk Down. But Tom Sizemore faced a troubled personal life that led to periods of homelessness. Sizemore's career in the 1990s was marked by praise and success, but his addiction struggles began to overshadow his achievements. By the early 2000s, Sizemore's addiction to methamphetamine and other substances led to a series of arrests and legal issues. His erratic behavior and substance abuse strained his personal and professional relationships. Despite multiple attempts at rehabilitation, Sizemore struggled to stay clean. In 2005, Sizemore's life hit a particularly low point. Reports emerged that he was living in his car and on the streets of Los Angeles, a stark contrast to his once glamorous Hollywood lifestyle. His financial instability was exacerbated by mounting legal battles, including arrests for drug possession and domestic violence. In one incident, he was convicted of physically abusing his then-girlfriend, Heidi Fleiss, which further tarnished his public image and professional reputation. Sizemore's downward spiral became public when media outlets reported on his precarious living situation. He was frequently seen in areas known for high homelessness rates, leading to speculation about his living conditions. Photographs surfaced showing Sizemore looking disheveled and distressed, which fueled public concern. During this period, Sizemore's car served as a temporary shelter. His once thriving career in Hollywood had been reduced to a struggle for survival, marked by the absence of steady income and the loss of many personal relationships. Friends and former colleagues, alarmed by his situation, attempted to intervene and offer help. However, his ongoing battle with addiction often made it difficult for him to maintain the support he received. Despite these challenges, Sizemore made several attempts to regain control of his life. He appeared on reality television shows like Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew, where he openly discussed his struggles with addiction and his efforts toward recovery. Sly Stone. As the frontman of the pioneering funk band Sly and the Family Stone, Sly Stone was once at the pinnacle of musical success. Known for hits like Everyday People and Dance to the Music, Stone's innovative style and charismatic performances earned him a place in music history. His band's unique blend of soul, rock, and psychedelic music not only captivated audiences, but also influenced generations of musicians. However, his life took a drastic turn due to substance abuse and financial mismanagement. By the 1980s, Stone's addiction to cocaine had severely impacted his career. His frequent drug use led to unpredictable behavior, missed performances, and strained relationships with band members and industry professionals. The vibrant energy that had once fueled his success was overshadowed by his escalating substance abuse. Legal troubles compounded his difficulties. He faced multiple arrests for drug-related offenses and issues related to his erratic behavior. In the 2000s, reports emerged that Stone was living out of a camper van parked in Los Angeles. His financial situation had deteriorated to such an extent that he could no longer afford stable housing. The man who had once headlined major music festivals and toured the world was now reduced to living in a vehicle. Michael Madson. Recognized for his roles in Reservoir Dogs and Kill Bill, Michael Madson has encountered significant personal challenges, including periods that pushed him close to homelessness. Madson's acclaimed performances made him a notable figure in Hollywood. Yet, his personal life has been marked by struggles with substance abuse and money problems. In the 2010s, Madson's challenges intensified. He faced multiple arrests for DUI, which publicly highlighted his battle with alcoholism. These legal issues were accompanied by financial troubles, particularly exacerbated by legal costs and penalties related to his arrests. His situation worsened when he encountered difficulties fulfilling his child support obligations, leading to further financial strain. The culmination of these issues led to a point where Madson lost his home. Facing such dire circumstances, he was forced to rely on the generosity of friends for shelter. During this time, he lived temporarily in a friend's guest house. This living arrangement was a sharp contrast to his previous life in his own home. Despite these profound challenges, Madson continued to seek roles in the film industry, demonstrating resilience amid his personal turmoil. His ongoing battle with addiction also prompted periods of reflection and attempts at rehabilitation, which he has discussed in interviews as critical steps in trying to stabilize his life. Edward Furlong. As someone who gained fame as John Connor in Terminator 2: Judgment Day, Edward Furlong saw his promising career derailed by substance abuse and legal problems. Furlong's early success as a child actor seemed to promise a bright future, but his personal life was marked by turbulence. Throughout the 2000s, Furlong struggled with addiction to heroin and cocaine. His substance abuse led to multiple arrests for drug possession and domestic violence. His career suffered as he became increasingly unreliable, leading to fewer acting opportunities. Furlong's declining reputation in Hollywood made it difficult for him to secure roles, and his once bright future in the film industry began to dim. In 2013, Furlong was reported to be living on the streets of Los Angeles, struggling with addiction and financial instability. Reports surfaced that he was seen in some of the most notorious areas for homelessness in the city, such as Skid Row. His descent into homelessness was exacerbated by his ongoing battles with drugs and the financial consequences of his legal troubles, which drained his resources and left him with nowhere to turn. During this time, Furlong's appearance and health visibly deteriorated, painting a stark picture of his fall from stardom. Once recognized as a talented young actor with a promising future, he became unrecognizable to many fans who had followed his career from its early days.